In the air to right, and he did it again!
Welcome back to another Lefties 2 broadcast, and you can see it. Top 20 pitchers in the game. It's been 9 months, December of last year, since we've dropped the last one. And then before that, we did a top 10. That's almost 2 years ago. Now we have a good, solid, round number. 89 players in total, so about 11 months from now, we're going to be doing the top 100 players in the game. But that's not anytime soon, 11 months from now. We are here to do the top 20 pitchers in the game. Right? My rankings. And again, this is one of my number one videos ever. Over like 7,000 views. Right? So people who are out there care about this game. They saw this. And, you know, I don't know if I'm going to get 7,000 views in 10 months on this video. But we have it. And again, I'm not dropping this anytime soon. This is day one of Luna. So it's a little premature. But I've kind of figured it out based on all the other pitchers where I can stick Luna. And there are some changes. If you guys, I will pin the last top 17 pitchers from about a year ago right now. Okay, so here we go. Number 20. Fernandez. He is actually, like, his pitches are pretty good overall, but that stupid 3-ball scenario and control improvement hitting, fuck that guy. No, this guy, people abuse him, right? He's hittable, obviously, when people play straight up. Like, people play straight up, I usually win. But when they ice arm it, my winning try drops to like 40%. You know, taking advantage of a skill, which is not really a skill. You don't have to be good to win with Fernandez. So he's by default, on my biased opinion of him, the worst pitcher in this game. I don't care what you think. Make your own video. He sucks. Or do the people that use him suck? I don't know. Either way, we're moving on. Number 19 is J-Ho. J-Ho, number 19. Again, he was number 17 last time around. Still last place, technically, minus Fernandez. But again, the worst pitcher. And they even nerfed his pitching ability, and his throwing and fielding is now the worst in all of, like, baseball Clash. Not even his worst of pitchers, but 159 is the worst at max level. His hitting and power are great. He is actually going to be great here in the next week during Clash League. Great pitcher to be on your bench for a pinch hitter. But as a pitcher, he is the worst pitcher in this game. By far, it's almost not debatable. I mean, it is a debate because you can say, no, he's not. But in my opinion, the worst overall pitcher in this game. Okay, tied now, number 18. Number 18. This pitcher is tied with the biggest drop. -6 from the last list. And again, there are more pitchers now, but from her last ranking, you know, -6, so she was 12. She's dropped a lot. Michelle, again, over time, watching pitchers use Michelle, she's dropped off in favor where mainly her only deceiving pitch is her slider. And that's typically when people just use it over and over and over and over again. Curveball doesn't have much break. It's a big loopy curveball. Spin is really good. Match her up with Nia. Again, also sometimes the catchers we use might actually help out the pitcher based off of my experience playing with them. High spin, Nia's going to help with that. Matthew doesn't help her much with that extra velocity, in my opinion. But Michelle here, now ranked 18th on the list. Okay. Number 17. Going back to the legendaries. Maria. Again, increases the throwing ability of all the fielders. Great helper of her team. But even going back when I started playing this game like 3.5 years ago, before they even introduced the new player, Jessica, the first new player ever introduced in this game, I was destroying Maria, destroying her. Not very good, and again, winning percentage less than 500. Like again, that's because Clash League really messed things up. But Maria is just not great. Her pitches aren't deceiving. Better sidearm pitchers in this game with better fastballs and better sliders. You're going to find out pretty soon. But she dropped a little bit in this list as well to number 17. She was 15, but do the math. She's pretty much right where she was at. Right? Number 16 on the list. And this guy stayed pretty much right there the same, which in theory he kind of moved up a little bit. Mueller. I've seen people do a lot better with him over the course of the last year. That's why he kind of moves up a little bit, even though he's still at 16, out of 17 last time. But he moves past Michelle and Maria, but still terrible, right? His pitches, he was nerfed. At one time, the best pitcher ever in this game, unhittable sinker for a long time. But he's still pretty trash, right? Control, velocity, movement. Movement is terrible. His spin helps. Pair him with Nia helps even more. But he's still just not that effective overall out of the 20 pitchers that are available. So Mueller, you're number 16. Number 15 on the list. Da-da-da. Why am I going there? Okay. Caroline. Caroline, another one of those little submarine sidearm pitchers. Perfect control is 2 strikes, but again, it's the low velocity, low movement, and low spin. Right? She has great control, but she has nothing else. Even matching her with Nia helps a little bit, but she's just terrible, man. She should be more of a rare pitcher, in my opinion, because that perfect control 2 strikes is almost like Michelle in a way. Pretty much close, similar, but just not great, in my opinion. So she moves down a spot from her last time around. Okay. Number 14. A lot of people like this pitcher, and a lot of people still use him. Roger. Like, I am terrible with Roger. Again, 247 win percentage. Doesn't make any sense. I have more wins than 25%. Again, Clash League, they messed up the winning percentages a long time ago, but they're all messed up. Again, after a hit, 4-seam fastball increases. Still pretty good pitch, but not great. Better pitchers that have similar stats. But I kill Roger, man. Roger is not good. And some of the top players that use him, because they've been using him forever, he gets crushed, man. That 201, 102, 101 fastball is not effective, in my opinion. Two-seamer does help a little bit, but just overall, just not effective according to me, right? So Roger, sitting there at 14. Number 13. This guy actually dropped 4 spots. All right, it's Garcia. Now, Garcia at 0 strikes, solid spin. Add Nia to that list, even better spin. Makes him all around statistically one of the better pitchers in the game. But his sinker has at times a pretty sharp cut. That curveball is very looping, very deceptive. Just sadly, there's better pitchers in the game than, Garcia in just general. And I typically don't have any difficulty handling him. But there are players in this game that can use him really well. And honestly, he will be pretty effective in Clash League because he does have he does have a high pitch count. So if you need him to come off your bench, pretty solid player to come off your bench, I think. Okay.
Number 12
is going to be Jay. Now, why do I say Jay? Chance of picking off somebody. Again, underarm pitcher, solid control, great spin, pair him with Nia. Fantastic. Velocity is the worst in the game. Movement, terrible. The reason why I say this is because I've figured out a way to win against him, against real players. Against real bots, it's easy. But against real players, I've figured out a way to kind of see the ball better. So for myself, I don't really use him very well. So that's one thing. 2, I hit him really well. So that's why he's dropped. Again, different angle, just not really a solid pitcher. He dropped 6 spots. He was 6th on the list last time around. Now he's 12th on this list. Sad day for Jay. Number 11. And then we move to the top 10. Number 11, he dropped out of that top 10. Eric. Eric, again, a solid pitcher, right? You don't really need a lot of pitchers in this game. Don't have high control. Movement, spin and velocity really help pair him with Nia. It even makes him that much better. I just don't ever have a difficulty hitting against him. And, ERA-wise, pretty high, so he gets rocked. Again, winning percentage, 28%. It doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. I don't get it. Anyway, about 75% win percentage with him. So 70% probably. But he's number 11. Good velocity. He's going to be great coming out of your bullpen. Again, we're going to do that as well. Once Clash League comes in, which pitchers are the best for bullpen? Stay tuned for that. But Eric, solid speed, 2 good fastballs in my opinion, and that curveball to kind of throw people off. But he's number 11 on this list. All right.
Number 10.
Was a top 5 pitcher for me for a long time. But Yuna, I don't know what happened to her overall. 206 control, velocity, pretty good. Add her with Nia, it makes her more well-rounded with that extra, spin rate. But again, lately I've been able to hit her a lot more. I don't see many people in the top use her, so that's a problem. She will be great again in Clash League because of high pitch count. So to kind of throw people off using her left-handedness. But the problem is her fastball is just straight. The four-seam fastball is straight. It's like 100 miles an hour, so it's not overpowering. And, she's a rare pitcher, so it's just kind of the way it goes is that she's not overpowering. Her changeup is pretty decent, not too deceptive from her fastball. So that's kind of the problem there. All right. So she's number 10, still in the top 10. Number 9. She moved up in this list. Moved up. Marie. Again, you pair her up with Rose, you get that changeup, which is the highly recommended. Her control is the worst in the game. That 105 fastball paired with that changeup is a deadly pitch. It's difficult. So, I've seen more pitchers become more effective with her because it just, again, 2-seamer, cutter, 4-seam, that actually at 105 is still difficult to hit. And that slider, garbage pitch. But again, you throw it in the right spot, it does become effective. By the right spot, I mean throw it as a ball. Right? Don't throw it for a strike. It'll get hit really far. But she's number 9 on this list. Number 8. Huge drop, -5. She was like a top 3 pitcher for me. She's dropped off. Mei Ling. Again, I like her better than Yuna because of her 2-seamer. I prefer the 2-seam. I need a little bit of movement because she doesn't have a lot of movement. Her spin is really low, but it does increase when she gets a strikeout, which helps. Control velocity does help. Again, another good pitcher to match with Nia. Change-up forkball, pretty much the same pitch, but just a little bit more drop with the forkball. Again, she's going to be a quality pitcher in your lineup to start if you need an extra starter on that 3rd day. So really, I think, good spot for her, number 8, in my opinion. All right. Number 7 moves up in the list. From the last list, he was number 8. Murdoch. Murdoch is extremely effective, right? Kind of the counter to Fernandez. You have to actually earn the 2 strikes in order to get his skill, right? Instead of just get it easily. Stupid. Anyways, Murdoch, again, his downfall is that velocity. When he's maxed out, 162 velocity, not great, but that spin, movement, control. Again, add Nia to it. Even add Matthew. Matthew helps change up the speeds even more. But again, solid pitcher overall. Can't wait till he's 13. Going to really give him a good look-see when he's 13, but I do a pretty good job, not ERA-wise. But again, he comes out, the extra innings or the 9-inning full count, Event, can't use him, but he'll be good because his low velocity. He should be good in the Clash League coming up. Even at level 12, still highly effective. All right. Number 6. Number 6. Again, I'm kind of biased with him. James. My first pitcher in the game, 2.6 ERA, still high for me, or low for me in general. And James, I'm biased, right? My first pitcher that I got over 4,000 wins with him and still use him in my other 2 accounts exclusively, right? I don't really play them enough to kind of level up pitchers that much. But James, level 13, still effective with a 2-seamer. When runners in scoring position, his spin goes up. So pair him with Nia. It spins even higher. So he has a good dead ball. Movement's good. Velocity is good. Just not, lacks in control a little bit, which I hope the next catcher they come up with adds more control. I guess that's Jessica with a little bit extra pinpoint location. All right. Now we're going to the top 5. Top 5. And I'm putting Luna here in the top 5 just because she helps everybody out, right? The speed. She gives everyone speed each inning, including herself. 168 speed to start off with, but 10th inning goes higher. 11th inning goes higher. 12th inning goes higher. I'm kind of curious of how much pitch count she's going to have because her velocity is so low in the beginning. But the idea that she helps everyone out and then her velocity moves up, she has some pretty decent pitches. Doesn't have a 2-seam or a 4-seam. The cutter and split finger and sinker. Again, I don't do really well with the underarm pitching in my experience, but I'm giving her that spot at number 5 just because she helps everybody else out in her lineup in a good way. So be on the lookout for my, speed lineup with her. Right? So I'm kind of this is my speed lineup. As you can see, it's already on. Kind of practicing with that. Okay? Next, we got number 4. Dropped a little bit in this list. And again, based off of my experience, again, Shitaro's number 4. He was number 2 last time around. And the reason why he's number 4 is I don't have a problem hitting him. It's mostly my experience is I can see the fastball, the sweepers, the splitter changeup. That's still the hardest one to see. Fastball, not overpowered. Even when it gets the max level at 102, it's not overpowered. His sweeper, it's like a small slider, a little sharper, but not effective in my opinion. Even his hitting stats, they don't seem to be effective. For someone that has hitting wise, 190 hitting power maxed and 200 contact, it doesn't seem that he gets that many hits when I'm pitching against him. I don't use him that much until he's 13, but Shitaro is kind of falling off a little bit. Once, a new pitcher comes out, they kind of boost him up a little bit, make him excited, and then he kind of cools down. But people will still complain about him a lot when they face him. I don't have a problem with him. I like facing Shitaro. I do not get nervous. Okay, top 3. Top 3, and this guy dropped off. He was the previous number 1, and he's still my number 1. I use him. Right? So Wade is still my guy. They nerfed him a couple months ago, which really took his control away, which really is just slightly annoying in my opinion. But again, I use him. But again, when I face someone using him, I don't have a problem with him. And that's really the concept, is I don't really have a problem facing him. It doesn't really matter. So that's why he is number 3 now on this list. Number 2. And again, he could be number 1, but he's got the highest rise at +5 in this. And again, it's because the last list is how I used the pitcher. Now I've kind of incorporated facing him. Riley. Number 2, the top players in the game, the Masaba Full Swings, the Taiwan clubs, the Snow Poetry and Clack Club, those guys use Riley almost exclusively, and he's just so deceptive, even though they kind of nerfed him by nerfing Matthew. Riley has become the most difficult pitcher for me to hit, right? Next to number one, which we already know who it is, right? But Riley, I still can't, all of his pitches coming from the same angle. That makes it like the same sidearm angle comes quick, slider comes quick, fastball, they all come quick. So 2 sliders, 2 fastballs, all coming. So it's so hard to read. You got to like watch the Riley video, and I'll put that in here, kind of show you guys Riley is difficult overall. All right, number 1, you know who it is, Josh. Josh right now is the number 1 pitcher in this game because just the skill. After breaking ball, the fastball just comes at you. And it's still hard to hit. Again, 102 is not hard when it comes at you by itself, but the circle change and the Josh curveball really are pretty deceptive pitches as over-the-top angle comes in. Slider, the worst slider, probably one of the worst sliders in the game. You throw that slider for a strike, it's gone, right? It's gone. Terrible slider. So that is a 3-pitch pitcher, in my opinion. But right now, he's still one of the, just so new still. You don't see a lot of 13s. If you do see a 13, someone paid hundreds of dollars for it, right? Because out the gate, it would have cost about $250 to get him to 12, plus 20 more. So you'd have had to pay a lot of money to get all those chests. So, if someone has 13 now, they probably paid $300, $400, $500 in just gems to get gold chests. Just a thought. So Josh is number 1. There is the list, the top 20 pitchers in the game. Let me know what you think. What is your top 20, guys? Thank you again for watching another Lefties 2 broadcast. See you next time.